Hey everyone, my name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. If you like making money, this is the channel for you. Click subscribe. We talk a lot about undervalued sectors, which is typically in the commodity sector. So we talk about a whole bunch of different commodities. In this particular instance, we're going to do our uranium market update. We're going to look at the technical charts to see what the market's telling us. So let's jump in and look at the uranium market to see what it's telling us. And I didn't do every single company, but we're looking at a lot of them to get kind of the gist of where this is at. So this is the uranium market, just big picture view, big, large move higher with these sideways pullbacks are an indication of how strong this sector is. We're not seeing the sellers really step in here and blow this to the downside. So I would say path of least resistance is to the upside, going on higher. Now, is this a bottom here in this pullback? Difficult to say. We've got a nice big down day here, and sometimes these guys like to drift up higher and then it gets punched down again, almost like a shoulder head kind of shoulder type deal. So I don't know if this is necessarily done pulling back for URNM in terms of the entire overall sector, but we can look at individual companies to get a better gauge of where this could potentially go. And a lot of them I'm seeing mixed signals. So I'm getting some that are really strong, some that are not. But let's look at some of the individual companies to see what I'm talking about. So Dennison Mines, this one actually looks pretty good. So what we see is we see a large kind of pull up here. It's got nice big volume down here on this, we'll call it a push higher. And then on the pullback, the candlestick body lengths are smaller. So it kind of like pulled in tight. We got a nice big up day with a big candlestick, which is good because it gives us a lot of momentum and power. And then the small little sell off here. Sell, 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 sell. And now we're just tracking sideways. And this is where I kind of call it a dead period. Now, this could go two ways because the market, if you look at all of the other companies in this sector, they're kind of split. And this one I think looks pretty good. It's kind of this dead period where the buyers equal the sellers and it's just going back and forth like this. So this is where I like to buy in here. This is where I like to pick up shares, are in these kind of, we'll call it the buyers equal the sellers period, where the candlestick bodies are not very large. They're just kind of tracking sideways. And if you're conservative, you want to wait and buy into strength. So you want to see strength first and then you buy into the strength. If you were going to trade this. But what I do is I invest. So I think right now would be probably a good spot for me to cost average in a little bit of money into DNN. We've got Camco. Camco looks like it's pulling up a little bit. The only thing that makes me kind of reserved here is we've got dark cloud cover here, which means that this guy went up and then it reversed and came down. And you can see the reversal here. And we're pulling on back. We got a nice big up day. There's no bearish or bullish engulfing. There's no reversal indication days yet. And we sold back off. So this thing could continue to chop sideways here. So I don't see any reversal patterns yet. These are three small up days. We've got three bigger down days with more power. So this thing's probably going to chop back and forth, is my guess. Then we've got fission uranium. And this one's looking good to go to the upside. So we entered this little pattern, I'll say February 7th or 8th or whatever. Big up days, and the momentum's coming through, and then we were coming in this pullback sideways. The candlestick bodies are contracting, which means the opening and closing price, the buyers and sellers are starting to equal each other. And we see this nice little contraction down into this little point. Then we've got a bullish engulfing here. It's a small one, but it is a bullish engulfing. So I like buying kind of in these areas where you've got a nice, it's not a huge bullish engulfing, and this could chop sideways for a little bit longer before it moves up. But I think the buyers are in control here. So I would be looking maybe to cost average into fission over the next couple of days or week and see what it does. So that one's looking pretty good. Blue Sky Uranium, I kind of randomly picked some of these. Again, we've got the nice big move higher and then the sideways kind of pullback. Big move higher, the sideways kind of pull back. It pulled back a little bit. It's coming back up. You might see this continue to chop sideways, but it doesn't look horrible. The sellers aren't pushing this thing down much. So maybe over the next week or two, if you like blue Sky Uranium, maybe look for a day or two to pop in if it's low. Azarga Uranium, I know a lot of people ask me about this company. What I like here, this one looks pretty good. I'll just paint the picture if I can. We've got a nice big pull-up and then a smaller pullback. This is a low, this is a higher low, and I think this is probably putting in a low here. So it's even a higher low. So what we're doing is we've got basically a triangle pattern that's forming here. Nice big triangle pattern. We've got a bullish engulfing that's developing right here. On some of these lower, I mean, there's not a lot of volume here. On some of these lower volume stocks, sometimes they throw false signals. So just be careful there. But it looks like it's contracting into this wedge type pattern. And we're at the bottom of the wedge. So I like buying, me personally, I like buying kind of on these bottom of the wedges with a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern there. So it doesn't look too bad. And again, even if this goes down the next day or two, it doesn't negate this pattern. So if we want to see like a small day or two, or maybe this thing just to take off, to come to the upside of this channel. So this one looks pretty good. URG, same exact kind of setup. I'm going from back here. You pull up, sideways pullback. You pull up, kind of this sideways kind of pullback here. We've got a bullish engulfing. I'd say, if you like URG, not a bad time to be entering it. That's where I would enter. We got deep yellow. Again, I'm looking for certain patterns. We've got a nice big move higher and then a smaller pullback. We've got a nice little higher pullback, see how this thing is contracting into this corner? Watch out for a sell-off to the downside, potentially if the overall market sells off. But what I would be doing is I'd be looking for strength right now to cost average in and look for a move to the upside. If you see the move to the upside and it's easier for you psychologically to buy into strength, then I would say wait for the strength to show itself and buy into strength. If you're a long-term investor, not a bad time to look in. We might get a little down day or something tomorrow, or maybe we put it'll have a little wick. Maybe they'll try scaring you out and they'll put a wick on the bottom. But I would be looking to cost average in to deep yellow, if you like deep yellow. Encore Energy, again, this is what I like about this is the strength. Big move higher, sideways pullback. Big move higher, it's just moving sideways. Sometimes these can lose to the downside and kind of try to scare everyone out. You might get like a big down day or something like this, and then it reverses and moves on up to give you like a hammer, like a big wick like this on the bottom. So right here, you can see it's contracting to a point. Is this going to break down or up? If it breaks to the upside, maybe buy into the strength. If it breaks to the downside, wait for it to reverse and come back up, and then maybe buy into that strength on the reversal. That's an idea if you guys are going to watch this and try to learn from it. ISO Energy, same thing. If you notice, there's a stair-step pattern here. Up, step back, up, step back. See how the ups are bigger than the pullbacks? So this thing stair-stepping higher, looks fantastic. I like it. ISO Energy, I'm an owner of it. I bought this a while back. So it looks pretty good. Overall, I showed a lot of the companies that looked stronger. There's some that do look weak, that look like they may continue to pull back or move sideways. Global Atomic, Bannerman. There's a whole bunch that I was looking at. Goviax Uranium. But the overall, it looks like it's firming up. We're getting contractions. We're coming to points, and that's usually when prices like to move quick. If we see the move to the upside, I would say most likely we are, because we're seeing bullish engulfing patterns on a lot of these companies. I would be looking to buy a little bit and cost averaging in to some of these companies that exhibit those bullish engulfing patterns. I would be looking for those bullish engulfing patterns on the other ones that haven't quite bottomed yet, depending on which companies you like the most. Hopefully this update gives you guys a little bit more information, at least from my viewpoint, to make better informed and educated decisions. This is definitely not advice. This is just financial education to get you guys used to chart reading, used to seeing what I'm seeing, looking for reversal patterns, and maybe that can help you in your investment cost averaging in. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.